closer to the outside of the road and or on your lap so they get the best view for them. Make sure to stay there for the rest of the journey. If you are sitting on the right hand side, watch your hands, arms, feet, and legs. I mean, closing. They're already Sani Sana Warda, that means thank you very much in Swahili. Everything we have to say is today, which means let's go. Hello friends, my name is Mackenzie and I'll be your safari guide through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Just a couple of safety reminders before we get this show on the road. Please remain seated at all times. That includes any little ones sitting in your lap. And also keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle. It's going to get a bit bumpy out here, so if you have any loose objects, any hats, glasses, phones, hold on tight. We cannot make any stops, but if you drop anything, Hakuna Matata, no worries. Just let me know, and we'll get it to you eventually. Now we're just waiting for the trucks ahead of us to clear in for it's our turn. While we're waiting, if you look above your head, you see the animal spotting guide. That'll help you identify some of the animals we might be seeing out here today. We might not see them all, but we usually get pretty lucky. I'm hoping that we will be seeing the sable antelope. They're on the sign on our right there. They're known as the protectors of Africa, so that's why we chose them to be on the emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, because that's our goal, to protect these animals. Now, if you want to take any pictures, definitely have those cameras out and ready to go. We can't stop for every animal, and they definitely don't always pose for us. So it's good to have a live action or sports mode, so your pictures aren't as blurry. Now that we got the all clear, we're going to head right in, and our first stop will be in the Little Ituri Forest. A lot of the animals in this forest have very unique patterns on their fur that help them blend in. A great example are the bongos. They're hiding around on our left side. They're an orangish-reddish forest antelope with stripes along their side. Every single one of them will have those twisty horns. You can see there's some of them sitting. There's a couple standing up there on the left. And then on our right side, way over there, there's two young okapis. Okapis kind of look like they're wearing zebra leggings, but they're not related to the zebra. Actually, the only relative of the giraffe. And then on our left here are the saddle-billed storks. Those real tall black and white birds. They can stand over 5 feet tall. And the male has brown eyes, the female has yellow. It's thought that they have a lifelong bond. And they're pretty cool. They actually can't vocalize like other birds. Instead, they rattle and clack with their bills. And then the gray antelopes sitting on the hill there are these greater kudu. Only male kudus have the horns, so those ones must be female. And there's those okapis then on the right there. It's thought the stripes along the sides of the bongos and the greater kudus and the legs of the okapis are there to mimic the sun rays coming through the trees, help them all blend in and camouflage. The bongos specifically are so good at hiding, they're known as the ghost of the forest. It's very rare to see them. The okapis are very elusive too. They were once considered a myth until about 1901. Oh, on the left there is a black rhino by the back wall there. Black rhinos get to around 3,000 pounds. However, they are the smaller of the two African rhinoceros species. They're also pretty solitary. They usually are found alone. And they love to live in forests because they eat primarily leaves, while other rhino species graze grass on open savannas. So we'll see if we find that other species up ahead. But all of them, their horns are made out of keratin, which is the same thing our hair and nails are made out of. So rhino's horns grow continuously throughout their life. And they gotta follow them down to manicure the shape. Now we're gonna head out of this forest, and at the bottom of this hill is the Safi River. Safi is Swahili for fresh, so we'll see some freshwater friends. looks like there is a colony of pink-backed pelicans. They're mostly light gray, but they do have pink under their wings. And it gets a lot more vibrant during mating season. So does the color of their pouch, which pelicans use like a net to catch fish and swallow them whole. They also will flap it around like these two on the shore closest to us, and that's how they pant to cool down. And then on our left there, looks like there's two hippos take a little nap in the shallow end together. Now hippopotamus will spend most of their time in the water, especially when it's hot, but they do come out if they're ever hungry. Usually it is around nighttime because they are nocturnal. We'll see if we find the rest of the group around the corner. They can't hold their breath for several minutes, so sometimes they fall asleep under there. Luckily, their body will naturally float them up to the surface to get a breath without waking them. Just like how our body turns us in our sleep. Do you think I see in the rest of the group? Coming up on the left by the back wall, next to the waterfall, there are about 4 or 5 hippos. They just kind of look like big rocks back there. A group of hippos is called a bloat, which I don't know. I think that's kind of hypocritical. Might have saw one just poke their little nose up. They have like their nose, eyes, and ears at the top of their head. So they poke their head up every so often to see what's going on. Take a breath. Yeah, he's really hard to see, but down on our left, under the logs, there's an Nile crocodile fully submerged in the water there. You can just see the outline of them. And Nile crocs are the largest reptilian in Africa. They get to around 500 pounds and 16 feet long. And they cannot internally regulate their body temperature, so if they get too hot, they have to go in the water, and if they get too cold, they have to come out to sunbathe. And they don't move a lot so that they can conserve energy. That way, they only really need 1 full meal a week. But it has been documented that Nile crocs can go up to a couple months without eating if food is scarce. Now the trees are getting a little scarce up ahead, so I think we're about to head out to the savannah. That could be why we're going a little bit slower than normal, because some savanna animals like to block the road. The savannah is home to some very iconic animals, like giraffes and zebras, and the other species of African rhinoceros. It's also home to some pretty iconic plants, like this big weird tree coming up on our right. It's called a baobab tree. And they do not have any leaves for about 9 months out of the year to conserve water. But there's a lot of water in the trunk. The bark's kind of spongy to the touch. And animals will poke holes in the bark or tear it off to get to the water inside. Sometimes that's the only place they can find water. So that's why those trees get the nickname the Tree of Life. Now way out there you can see quite far because there's a lot less plant coverage. That means the animals have a lot less places to hide, so they cannot rely on their camouflage to keep them as safe, like the most other animals that we saw in the forest. Instead, savanna animals must rely on their speed and agility. So we'll see how many fast animals we can find. The giraffes, they're pretty fast. They get to around 35 miles an hour, but only for short bursts. But with those legs, they could cover a lot of distance. And so it kind of looks like they run in slow motion. There's quite a few of them around in the shade of the trees. I did see some zebra as well. They can run faster for much longer because they have a higher stamina. Hopefully we'll get some better views of the zebras and the giraffes. Also see some inchoate cattles. I believe somebody up there is blocking the truck. I can't tell. It might be the inchoate cattle. Sometimes they'll put their whole head with their huge horns in the road. Or it might be that giraffe too. There goes the warden. We're gonna go have a chat with the animals. Sometimes they'll just call their name when they get out of the road. I don't think the animals really understand what a road is. I don't think they understand that. We cannot go around them. Yeah, I think it might be the inchoate. Can't really tell from this angle. The inchoate cattle, they are considered sacred in most places, so almost never used for meat or milk. They're more like a symbol of wealth and status. Now it looks like the whole tower of giraffes are wandering around. That's what a group of giraffes is called, because they do tower high above every other animal. The Maasai giraffes can get between 18 to 20 feet tall, and they have much darker and scratchier spots than the other 7 subspecies of giraffe. Most of them are wandering around looking for food. They love food. A giraffe will spend most of their life eating. They only really need about 30 minutes of sleep a day, so that clears up about 20 hours a day for them to eat. They have 4 chambers in their stomachs, so it takes a lot of time to fill the stomach. It takes even longer to digest them. So as we pass by them, even if they're not actively consuming food, you can see them chewing most of the day. They chew, swallow, and regurgitate their food over and over and over again, just like cattle. And that's because they're both ruminants. Looks like the cow got a little special treat. Oh, and then spoiler alert, I see the baby giraffe coming up ahead. I was wondering where he is. We'll see him in a second. Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice them. On the left there's 3 painted dogs. Take a little nap in the shade there. Now they're sometimes called the African wild dog. Just have everybody remain fully seated at all times, friends. Fully seated. They do kind of look like hyenas, but they're not related at all. Painted dogs are related to canids, like wolves, and even domesticated dogs. They just have less toes. Painted dogs only have 3 toes. And they do everything together. Looks like it is nap time now. And around the corner there's the inchoate on our right that was blocking the road. They got those huge horns, gets about 4 feet long each. On our left there's some chocolatey brown antelopes way over there called the sable antelope. And they're very territorial. They're one of the only species they're given the choice between fight or flight. Always choose fight. There's a little baby giraffe getting a little snack from the tree stump there. There he is. That little guy is 6 months old, but he is about 10 feet tall already. When they're born, they're about 6 feet already, and they grow real fast. There's the other cows. Their horns are surprisingly light. They have a honeycomb texture on the inside, so each horn only weighs about 5 to 7 pounds. It's just real close on the right here. You see how dark the spots of the Maasai giraffes get, especially on this one. You might catch a glimpse of the long, blackish, purplish tongue. They can lick their eyeballs and clean out their nostrils with their tongue. They can also pick up sticks. And coming up, there's Mr. Giraffe. This is the dad of the baby. He is around 20 feet tall. And then there is the herd of Hartman's mountain zebras. Like their name suggests, those zebras do live in rocky, mountainous regions. So they have much pointier hooves to help them rock climb. Oh, see Mr. Draft's grabbing at those sticks high above his head. The zebras, this species has thicker stripes on their hips than the rest of their body. That's unique to them. They also are the only zebra that has a dewlap, which is a flap of skin underneath their neck that regulates their body temperature. Other animals have it, but they're the only zebra that has it. And then around the corner looks like there are some wildebeest in one of their favorite little areas to sleep in the sand there on the right. There's 4. They'll dig like a little hole, take a nap in. That's actually the male herd, aka the Beastie Boys. And they live separately to a larger female herd, mostly female herd. And the wildebeest, they're the most densely populated wild animal in Africa. That's because every year during the Great Wildebeest Migration, up to 1.5 individual wildebeest get together to migrate to look for better water sources and better places to find resources. There's a lot of trees knocked down over here, which means we're probably entering into elephant territory. Oh yeah, there is one on the right there. Sometimes if an elephant wants to eat the leaves on the top of the trees and they can't reach it, they use their tusks and their incredible strength to knock the tree down to get a little snack. And it looks like he's eating some hay. A single elephant must eat about 300 pounds of food a day. And this is a male. The males leave the herd they were born in when they're teenagers, while the females stay with that herd for their entire life. That could be up to 70 years. And they're probably around here somewhere, so we're gonna go see if we can find the female herd up ahead. There he is again on the right. Coming up under this bridge is some red clay. Red clay is very high in sodium, and elephants love a salty snack. So coming up on our right, we'll be able to see some tusk marks, evidence of the elephants digging in to get a bite to eat. The clay tastes good to them, but also has a lot of nutrients, so it is healthy for them. Kind of like how we take multivitamins. And now here's a female. They get to around 8 or 9 feet tall, not as big as the male, which is about 13 feet. But every one of them will have the tusks, which are elongated inside their teeth. The elephants use like a tool to defend themselves. Oh, there's a little baby elephant by the, way over there by the tree. I was wondering where she went.
Baby.
Now that little one, she is turning 2 years old in December. And we had been waiting a while for baby. The gestation period of the elephant is longer than any other land mammal. That means Mama was pregnant for 22 months. Hard pass. Yeah. The babies are also born weighing up to 200 pounds. No thank you. Now she weighs about 1,000 pounds now, but she's still got about 7,000 to go. And it takes them a long time to grow. It takes around 30 years for an elephant to reach their full height and weight. And now coming up on our left is a flamboyance of greater flamingos. They're called the greater because they are the tallest flamingo. Also the pale is pink. What you kind of see under their wings is a much more flamboyant color. Looks like it's nap time for most of them. They will duck their heads and their feathers to block out the sun, to get a little shut-eye. And we don't really know why flamingos love to stand on one foot all the time. It might be a way to give the other leg a rest or to keep from getting too chilly. Looks like we found the white rhinos. Coming up on our left, way over there to the nap, is a group of white rhinos. The males can weigh up to 6,000 pounds, which is twice the size of the black rhino. And they are a lot more social. Oh, hello. On our right there is an ostrich getting a little drink of water next to the warden. A good example of how tall ostriches are. They can get to around between 6 to 9 feet tall. They are flightless, but they use the big wings to change direction, kind of like a cheetah uses their tails. This is the group of rhinos, and that's their mud wallow, where they hang out on a hot day. The mud will coat their very sensitive skin and act like a moisturizer too in sunscreen. There's the group of white rhinos. A group of rhinos called a crash, because they don't have the greatest eyesight, so sometimes they bump into each other. But they do have a fantastic sense of smell and hearing, so usually they'll smell you before they see you. And then here's an ostrich. Another one getting some snacks over here. Another female with gray feathers. And then up on the hill, way up there, there's a cheetah taking a little nap at the base of the tree. You can barely see her. She's so hard to spot. Ah, get her. Now keep looking on that left side. There are quite a few cheetahs. There's about 5. They're actually a lot more active during the day, so that's why we're not seeing them all. Oh wait, yeah, look at the 2 cuddling there in the left corner. Now, they're very unique to most big cats. They have their claws out at all times, while every other cat will attract them to keep them sharp. Now, coming up on our left is this real big rock formation. It's called a kopie. There are copious amounts of copies here in Africa. A lot of different animals hang out up there, including lions lying around there on the rocks. There's a pride of 3 young lions. Pride Rock from The Lion King was, in fact, based on the kopie rock formations. Now they will sleep, the lions will sleep or rest for 16 to 20 hours a day. It's the females that do the hunting at night, while the males stay at home, protect the cubs and the pride. Usually the male lion has a big fluffy head of hair to protect them like a helmet. Now these are very young. They're about 3 years old, so kind of like the equivalent of the teenagers. So that's why the male's mane looks like more like a mullet. Just see a little tuft of hair. And he's all blonde right now, but as the lions will age, the hair will darken. Also, it'll probably triple in size. An adult lion's mane can weigh up to 25 pounds. Ooh, on the left there, look at the warthogs. Now these tunnels here belong to the warthogs. They are the largest burrowing animal in Africa. These are younger females. They only have 2 little warts under their eyes, while male warthogs have 4 huge warts, 4 much more pronounced tusks, because they will spar through the factions of the females, and the warts protect their face like a cushion. And on the right side, way up the hill, you kind of see 2 little water buck sitting there. They're a gray, fluffy little antelope that drink like 9 liters of water a day, and they also like to swim. Every other antelope will avoid water and only need a drink up to once a week. You can see the other warthog way at the top of the hill, getting a snack of hay, switching her little tail around. And then down on the right are the ostrich's eggs. I guess they're taking a break from sitting on them. Each female in the area will lay their eggs right there for safety, but the eggs are very safe on their own. A single ostrich egg weighs about as much as 24 chicken eggs. They are so dense, an adult human could stand on one, and it wouldn't even crack the shell. Now we're entering into the Magadi Glen, and this is where the warden's post is. If you saw any humans out there, those are the wardens, and it's their job to protect and take care of all the animals that we saw out there, along with the goats that live here. These are Nigerian dwarf goats. They're a little smaller than most, about 3 feet tall. They have a very good sense of balance and the urge to climb over whatever they can find. That's why they're all over the place. I think there's one in the back of the truck too. They're pretty popular to keep, not just in Africa, but all over the world, because they are miniature goats. They take up less room. Their milk is sweeter than a cow's, and if you ask the goats nicely, they will mow your lawn for free. And if you want to pet any Nigerian dwarf goats, there are some over at Rafiki's Planet Watch. They have goats, cows, donkeys, and sheep to pet. Next door is the Conservation Center, and there's bugs, reptiles, and amphibians to check out and learn about. They even have an axolotl, which is a relative of the salamander, one of my favorites. Vet clinic, nutrition windows there, butterfly garden, tons of stuff to do there. And the only way to get to Rafiki's is by taking the train. The Wildlife Express departs about every 5 minutes from the Harambe station until 4:30 later today, so keep that in mind if you want to head over there. I do hear that train whistle, actually. If you'd like to see any other animals today, you can always hop on another safari. You might see something different next time because no two safaris are the same. But you can also head over to Brittle Falls. It's pretty close. And I guess it's about time for us to part ways, but we don't really like to say goodbye here in Harambe. It is far too sad and much too final. So instead of saying goodbye, we say Kwaherini, which means to go well in Swahili. So go well, go wild, and go have a great rest of the day. If you're sitting on the right hand side, watch your hands, arms, feet, legs, doors will be opening. Kwaherini, watch your step as you exit. Asante Sana. Thanks so much for joining me. Hope you enjoy.